Good morning. Welcome to the Premium Public Video Forecast discussion for Friday, September 5th, 2025. Everyone's heading back to school now, and we're in the fall feel. It certainly has felt fall-like for the past couple of days, but we're going to get a little bit hotter for the next couple of days as we wait for a cold front to move through. And then we get another cool air mass. Now, before we begin, just want to show you the latest information from the CDC via Johns Hopkins, where we are seeing an increase in COVID. Okay, but the good news is that so far flu and other viruses are on the low side around here and nationally, so that's certainly some good news. But with all the kids going back to school, that means they're going to be bringing all sorts of germs with them. So just be prepared for that. And of course, if you do feel sick, definitely visit your doctor. But so far, so good in terms of the flu. But certainly COVID is starting to tick up as it typically does during this time of year. We'll probably see the same with flu and other viruses in the coming weeks ahead. Now, let's dive into the tropics. And we are watching this disturbance down here that currently has a 60% chance of developing over the next 48 hours and 90% chance of developing beyond that, 3 to 7 days out. I am not as, I guess you could call it, aggressive in that expectation. Look at this here. It has a very poor, broad, low-level circulation, and the convection has not been sustained, nor has it been impressive. The model guidance went from being very, very aggressive in creating a developing low-level circulation to, well, not so much. It looks a little bit more strung out, certainly not as organized in the model guidance, whereas beforehand, the past couple of days, as I've been talking to premium members, is produces ball of convection and marching across, heading towards the Lesser Antilles and moving towards Puerto Rico. And now, well, not so much. And this is a great lesson in why you do not jump the gun on the potential for development until you get a low-level circulation developed. You do not jump the gun on potential tracks of tropical low-pressure systems until the warm core low is formed. And this is a great example as to why. Because the process of the warm core development is a lot in the realm of mesoscale meteorology, right? With the process of establishing the circulation. And that factor leaves a lot of wild cards open. So you don't want to jump the gun and expect rapid development, even in favorable conditions, until you actually understand what the structure of the low-level circulation looks like, how vertical is the low-level circulation to the mid-levels and the upper levels. Is it vertically stacked? Is there a skew to the left or the right? Is there dry air that has to be funneled out? All these factors are unknown until you establish that low-level circulation. And this is a great example how the model guidance has been very aggressive, but you tell me, do you see any rapid development here? I certainly don't. So we'll keep an eye on this disturbance. We do expect some sort of development to happen. We'll keep an eye to see what actually becomes of this disturbance. And then once we establish that, then we can start talking about the forecast future of this system and see what can evolve as we move forward. But again, I wouldn't jump into any conclusions just yet of the future of this disturbance at all. Closer to home, we have a cold front that is moving through, and we have some instability around the region, but overall it's pretty quiet. We have some sky cloud cover. Temperatures overall pretty pleasant, lower to mid 60s, upper 60s to lower 70s around the Delaware River Valley, lower to mid 70s along the coast. This cold front isn't going to produce much in the way of precipitation, but I can't rule out an isolated thunderstorm here and there. As you can see on the latest weather tap, radar, and surface map, not a lot going on. But here, this next cold front right here, this one's going to pack a little bit of a punch. But it's not going to move along very quickly. So let's take a look at the upper level winds. I'll explain why. You see, the setup of this upper level trough is a positive tilt. So this disturbance is on the way, but the whole pattern, the whole long wave trough is more of a positive tilt, which means that these cold fronts are going to move a little bit slower through the region. Now, the cold front for this weekend is going to have a nice punch behind it, a nice strong polar air mass taking hold, but it's going to take some time to move through. And so as a result, we're going to end up with a bit more of an unsettled weekend than I was earlier expecting, with the potential for scattered showers and thunderstorms tomorrow, especially in the afternoon, and then lingering showers on through Sunday morning. And that is because of the orientation of this trough. When you take a look at the 500 millibar PVA, again, notice the strongest lifting is all focused to the north of us here as this trough basically lifts northward and we start to see a relaxation in the weather pattern. So as a result, the strongest lifting at 500 millibars stays to our north. And by the time we do get a strong support at 500 millibars via the PVA, positive vorticity advection, by that point, we have a lot of dry air in place, so it doesn't really matter. So where are we seeing all of this lifting? Well, it's coming via frontogenesis at the surface and mid-level lifting. So as you can see here, this is 700 millibar omega. This tells us air is rising. You can see for today, not very strong, thus only an isolated threat for a rogue shower or thunderstorm. Then for tomorrow afternoon, you can see that lifting gets stronger and gets more impressive. And then that continues on into Sunday morning. But then by Sunday afternoon and evening, everything starts to push out. And by Monday, it's very, very quiet and continuing on through the rest of the week. Same thing here at 850 millibars. Your strongest lifting is clearly focused on Saturday afternoon on through Sunday morning, opening up the potential for those pesky showers. And then you add in the precipitable water value. Now you get a complete picture of, okay, we know where the lifting is going to be, how much moisture is going to be available. And you can see the potential here for some pretty strong moisture lifting here with precipitable water values pushing over 2 inches, opening up the potential for some thunderstorms capable of heavier downpours. And this also opens up that severe threat in terms of downburst wind gusts. Although I'm expecting that only in isolated terms, I can't rule it out, right? So usually when you have this type of precipitable water values, you have thunderstorms capable of heavy downpours, frequent lightning, and downburst wind gusts over 40 miles per hour, possibly pushing over 55 miles per hour. And then on Sunday, well, it just kind of slowly exits. So as a result, we keep on with the potential for these showers through the morning hours, clearing out in the afternoon and in the evening. And by the time we get to the evening, look at all this dry air. And this is why this strong shortwave on Monday doesn't really matter, because there's not much to lift. There's no moisture, all right? So it's a dry environment. In terms of Cape values for tomorrow, again, not all that impressive. We're looking at about 1,500 joules per kilogram. Strong enough for some strong thunderstorms, but not for any type of widespread severe threat. So when we take a look at the forecast here for today, watch out for a few isolated showers, but overall not too crazy of a day. Then we get to Saturday, tomorrow, and we open up our potential for showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon, starting after 1 p.m. over northeastern Pennsylvania, after 3 p.m. for the rest of the region, and those showers and thunderstorms continue to sink south and then linger into Sunday morning before we start to clear out Sunday afternoon and in the evening. So again, the rest of the forecast is absolutely beautiful. So let's dive into this forecast for today. Watch out for an isolated shower or thunderstorm. High temperatures will range from the mid to upper 70s over the interior, lower to mid 80s on the I-95 corridor, and upper 70s to lower 80s along the coast. Overall, pleasant day if you could dodge a shower. For tonight into tomorrow morning, look for scattered cloud cover with low temperatures in the lower to mid 60s over the northern interior, mid to upper 60s in the suburbs, upper 60s to lower 70s in your urban areas. Tomorrow afternoon, the showers and thunderstorms begin to develop, really start to push through the region after 3 p.m. But if you're in the northern interior from 1 to 4 p.m., that's going to be your impact time. And then for the I-95 corridor and the coast, 3 to 6. And then on Long Island, let's say roughly 5 to 10. Okay, so that's how these showers and thunderstorms are going to be sinking through. Look for high temperatures on Saturday ranging from the mid 70s to lower 80s over the northern interior, mid to upper 80s on the I-95 corridor, and upper 70s to lower 80s along the coast. This is going to be the hottest day of the forecast period. By the time we get to Sunday morning, showers are lingering with low temperatures ranging from the mid to upper 50s over the northern interior, lower to mid 60s along the coast. Some of these showers will be capable of a brief heavy downpour. By Sunday afternoon, the showers begin to exit. Skies clear from northwest to southeast. Look for high temperatures in the upper 60s to lower 70s over the northern interior, lower to mid 70s along the coast. On Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, high pressure is in control. Thursday night into Friday, a cold front moves through, but no real rainfall is expected. And then Friday, more high pressure. So a whole week of pleasant weather conditions. Look for low temperatures through the week ranging from the upper 40s to lower 50s. This is Monday through Thursday. Upper 40s to lower 50s over the northern interior. Along the coast, upper 50s to lower 60s. In your suburbs, mid to upper 50s. For high temperatures over the interior, mid 60s to lower 70s. Along the coast, lower to mid 70s. Then on Friday, with another pure polar air mass taking hold, look for low temperatures in the lower to mid 40s over the northern interior, upper 40s to lower 50s in your suburbs, mid to upper 50s in your urban areas. High temperatures will range from the mid to upper 60s over the northern interior and upper 60s to lower 70s along the coast. So overall, once we get through this stormy period of weather through Sunday morning, we open up a beautiful period of weather all the way on through next week. That is your forecast discussion for today. Of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino, CDM number 9. And as always, stay safe out there.